First up is The Assistant. This is a new movie. It did have a festival release last year and a tiny theatrical release earlier this year, but now it's on streaming. It stars Julia Garner. My second one of hers. I keep thinking it's my third, but Electric Children was right before quarantine, so that doesn't count, which is sad because it's a decent movie. But yeah, the premise of this movie is Julia Garner is an assistant, as you might imagine by the title, and you just follow a day in the life of her as an office assistant, and it is like the textbook definition of a slow burn. It is just insanely slow, and like it's done on purpose to show just like the boring monotony of office life, but how like that monotony can just like build and build and build and just be insanely stressful and overwhelming. Um, and like this movie is really not for everyone, as like the Rotten Tomato audience score can attest to. Just like I think people did kind of game the system there, just because like it just there's a lot of nothing, but like the nothingness, there's a lot of substance in the nothingness, just more subtle, I guess. Julia's performance is incredible. She does such subtle things. Like probably my favorite stuff is when she just like she's on the brink of tears. She doesn't cry, but she's like right there. And honestly, that's way more powerful than had she actually cried. And she has good reason to cry too, because it's kind of crazy all the stuff that happens. But again, not a lot happens, but so much happens, and it's good. It's good. So I don't recommend this movie unless you can stand a slow burn, because this is a slow burn. Again, I do think it's great. I do love it. I put it in the really liked category. Also, I'm gonna spoil a little cameo. Patrick Wilson pops up in it, and this is my shoot fourth or fifth Patrick Wilson movie. I think he might be tied for the lead with Natalie Portman, and that's gonna change soon because I'm gonna watch another one of his movies soon. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, he is a little bit, and it's good. Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna stop rambling and move on to the next one. Now on to Swimming Pools, a 2003 French/English erotic thriller. The basic premise is that there's this murder mystery writer lady who is a little sick of writing murder mysteries. She's, an acclaimed, everyone loves her, lots of moms love her. And she's kind of, wants to spice up life a little bit, even though she kind of hates people. So her publisher sends her to his French house in France. There we go. So you say that to kind of just relax and kind of get re-inspired, and she does. And while there, she meets his daughter, and she spends most of the movie either completely naked, topless, or in a bikini. But what's really interesting about her is that she's definitely sexualized, but she's not objectified. Like her sexuality is kind of more, it's a big part of her character, and it's more a part of like, it's an empowerment sort of like, kind of just like imagine one of your female friends just like walking into the room topless but acting like it's completely normal and just like doing normal stuff. You're kind of sitting there just in shock, like, you're topless, how should I react to this? So like that person's just like completely in control of the scene, and that's how this character really is for a lot of it. She kind of wields her sexuality powerfully, like a sword, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it was really, really solid. It is slower, not as slow as The Assistant, but it is a bit slow. But it was really engaging. I felt it was engaging. And then it had kind of an ambiguous ending where I kind of had to like sit there and be like, kind of process things for a bit. But yeah, I definitely put this one in the really liked category. It was something else. They really use nudity in a way that like I've never really seen in other movies, and it's something else. Yeah. And lastly is Disobedience. This is a 2018 movie starring Rachel Weisz, or Rachel McAdams, the second one of hers, and I'm going to mess up his name, Alessandro Nevoid, my second one of his. It's also my third lesbian romance movie, or just gay love romance movie. There are a few that I've watched that, like, you could argue, like Never Going Back, that's kind of a gay love story, but this is definitely a gay love story. I kind of had high hopes going into it, and they didn't meet my hopes. The premise is that so Rachel McAdams and the dude are part of this hardcore Orthodox Jewish community, and Rachel Weisz used to be a part of it, but she left some years ago, and now she's come back because there was a death, and they're kind of reconnecting and rekindling some stuff. I don't know, pretty early on in the movie, I just kind of, like, something felt off to me, and I couldn't quite place it. And then after the movie, I kind of looked up who the director was, and they had directed the movie Gloria Bell, which I watched a couple years ago. I think it was 2018 as well. And I remember walking out of that movie being confused because it got great reviews, but like that movie just felt so hollow, and I just didn't get it. And this movie kind of felt a lot like it. I definitely understood it more than Gloria Bell, but it felt hollow, and I don't really know why. Just like there was just something missing that I can't quite put my words on. It was just, I don't know. There was something weird about it. I definitely put it in the liked category, though I'm going to kind of shit on it a little bit. What's interesting, though, is it's also, even though Rachel Weisz is the top billed actor, it's really Rachel McAdams' story. She just has like the biggest arc and the biggest emotional stuff. It's clear she's the lead, even though Rachel Weisz is technically the lead. I don't know. I mean, I should probably talk about this scene now. So there is like a big lesbian love scene, and I'm totally fine with all types of sex scenes, straight, gay, whatever. But like, it's not porn. We don't need to see the entire thing, even though, you know, obviously they're both hot, and, you know, I enjoy them. But like, it still needs to advance the story, advance the plot. It can't just be, you know, just fluff. And pretty early on into it, I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of, I'm good. We've seen enough. We get the point. They do it now. We don't need to see the whole thing. But then it just keeps going and going and going and going. And it's just like, okay, I get the point. We don't need a close-up shot of these two finger banging. Like, we get it. They're having sex, okay? And like, that feels like such a weird thing to say, because again, they're hot, but like, we just don't need to see it. And like, the part that's really like, they jumped the shark was when, I forget who was doing it to who, but one of them was just like spitting into the other person's mouth, and the other person was just like taking it in, like, this is the nectar of God, it's so amazing. And it's just like, at that point I realized, oh, this is just the director doing some fantasy fulfillment stuff, and like, it's not really serving the story in any way, shape, or form. And then and I think like S's way to like be like, oh no, I didn't make a porno, because look, see, they were clothed, or mostly clothed, for the entire time they were doing it, so like, it's not porn. But like, no, dude, you were just trying to, you know, make a porn for yourself, and it's, yeah, I don't know. But again, I did like the movie. And what's really interesting, the last thing I'm going to say about this sex scene stuff, is that the first time they kiss in the movie, there was definitely more passion and heat in that scene than there was for the actual like big sex scene. And like, I kind of thought that, and then I saw like some other people online commenting about how like, yeah, no, the first kiss was more than enough to show like the passion between them, and then like the actual sex was kind of overkill at that point. And again, I'm fine with sex scenes, or especially gay sex scenes are totally fine. It's just because, like, looking at my top 3 movies, 2 of the top 3 are gay love stories. So like, I'm fine with it, obviously, but just, I don't know. And again, I did like this movie. I don't know. It's just okay. I'm done talking. All right. Bye.